Let's turn to the UK now, where politicians are training their guns on Pakistan and talking about cutting aid. This is about the so-called grooming gangs, groups of men who sexually abuse and rape young girls. They've been doing it for many years and it's all documented. Now there are calls for a national inquiry on the issue. Prime Minister Keir Starmer is trying to avoid it, but the pressure is mounting. And where does Pakistan come in? Most of these gangs are made up of Pakistani men, and that has become the biggest flashpoint. Some British politicians want action against Pakistan. They say cut off foreign aid. And leading that charge is MP Rupert Lowe. He's a member of the UK's Reform Party. He says Pakistan must accept and jail deported rapists. Only then should aid be given. And how much money are we talking about? Last year, it was around $50 million. It is set to triple in the coming years. In fact, Pakistan is the biggest recipient of UK aid, and Elon Musk is supporting this move. He says the UK owes it to the grooming victims. Some diaspora groups are also unhappy with Keir Starmer. His ministers have often called the gangs Asian. But Hindu and Sikh groups have objected to it. They say most of the gangs are Pakistani, so call them Pakistani, not Asian. Tonight, let's dig deeper into this issue. Why is the focus on Pakistani grooming gangs? At the outset, let me say this, race and religion are a factor here, but they're not the cause. These gangs are not raping girls because they're Pakistani or Muslim. The far right may want to think that, but that is not the reason. The reason is that the system created in Pakistan and the UK is flawed, a system that does not punish abusers. First, look at some numbers. More than 4,200 Pakistani children were abused in 2023. That's almost 11 per day. Now, sex education is virtually non-existent in Pakistan, and so is legal support. They did not have a national child abuse law until 2020. They also did not have a national sex offenders registry until 2024. All of this makes abuse quite rampant in Pakistan. On the other side, the UK's visa system has been called weak. Criminal checks are not mandatory, so people coming in just have to self-declare. Reports say hundreds of foreign criminals have been allowed to enter the UK. These are convicted murderers, rapists and child abusers. They're all allowed. They basically fell through the cracks in the system. And this works both ways. One such example is that of Sohail Ayaz. He was a Pakistani bookkeeper and accountant. He was wanted in Italy for abusing children. Yet he was granted a UK visa. In 2008, this man started working at a British charity. He was later identified, arrested and deported. Guess what Pakistan did with him? He was appointed to advise the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa government. But like most abusers, he did not change his ways. He was caught again in 2019, though not before he had raped multiple victims in Pakistan. In total, Ayaz admitted to abusing 30 children, 30. Clearly, this is systemic failure. And you can't avoid the issue simply because of race or religion. Even Pakistanis admit the problem. Let me quote a 2018 report in The Dawn. This is the largest English newspaper in Pakistan. Look at what they said. I'm quoting here. I was offended by the use of Pakistanis and Muslims, believing that it was wrong for mainstream broadcasters to narrow down so much on a group of people based on their country of origin or religion. Later, when more cases came to light, it dawned on me that the sections of British media describing the perpetrators as Pakistanis were not off the mark. So the problem does exist, and Britons have a right to be angry. Let me tell you what happened to the Rockdale grooming gang. Their ringleader was convicted in 2012, 12 years ago. He was deported, he was ordered to be deported back to Pakistan. And guess where he is now? He is still in Rockdale, in a £140,000 apartment fighting deportation because Pakistan refuses to take him back. It is not racist to raise these problems. It is not racist to question Pakistan's weak laws, especially when it is wreaking havoc on other parts of the world.
From breaking news to the day's biggest controversies, shedding light on the world's top headlines, detailed analysis on the stories that matter the most to you. Catch it all on Spotlight. at 6 p.m. India time and 12:30 GMT. Only on Firstpost.